Tonight on CTV News, the City Council is considering reopening buildings that don't meet the code. A lotto ticket bought in Kaikoura may be worth over $8.6 million, and a local performer has won a major global competition. This is CTV News. I'm Grant Mangan. Unsafe buildings owned by the council may not be out of bounds. Changes to a council policy could see buildings being reopened around Christchurch, even if they don't meet the building code.
Council buildings falling below 34% of the building code could be reopened, following Christchurch City Council plans to relax the rules on occupancy. 236 non-residential facilities were closed in 2011. After a council policy sought for any buildings in its ownership falling below 34% of the new building standard deemed unsafe. The previous council received a report asking for the policy to be changed after concerns many of the buildings had been closed unnecessarily and posed little danger. Last year, the council exempted 27 buildings from the policy, including community halls, toilets and sport pavilions. However, council staff are now seeking to change the policy, recommending a new framework for deciding how safe occupying a building may be. Any building that hasn't suffered significant damage and doesn't contain a brittle collapse mechanism could be occupied, even if it fell below 34%. The council haven't said how many buildings the changes will affect, but the policy changes could see some buildings reopened. A decision will be made by the full council later this month.
St Albans is welcoming a temporary workers' village set to open in the suburb by the end of the year. The St Albans Residents Association says they've tried and failed in developing the site for community purposes, and they're just happy it's being used for something.
The village for rebuild workers will sit on the corner of Madras and Cannon Streets. St Albans Residents Association Chair Emma Twaddle says she hopes there will be local involvement to ensure a healthy and safe environment for all residents, even those here temporarily. It's the second time Christchurch City Council has given the green light to a development on the Madras Street site. Last year the site was secured by Portacom New Zealand, but they only got resource consent for the project a month ago. Portacom New Zealand South Island manager Phil Botting says a start date hasn't been determined, but the village will be open by the end of the year. He says there's been strong interest and definite demand. Mr Botting says they're talking to the town's major contractors about what they're doing. On the 8th of January, the council sent letters to surrounding residents informing them of approved resource consent. On the 8th of January, the council sent letters to surrounding residents informing them of the resource consent's approval, acknowledging significant change to the land's use. The village will house 200 rebuild workers and a site manager. Each unit will have 4 rooms with en-suites and storage.
A lack of signs is a big problem for a 120-kilometre walkway around the perimeter of Christchurch. Ecologist Colin Merck's Great Perimeter Walk has been under development for the last 25 years.
The walk would connect the coast, volcanic hills, Christchurch streams, native bush, braided rivers, wetlands and the Waimakariri River. In 2009, Mr Merck's walkway, through a subcommittee of Sustainable Ōtautahi Christchurch, won the Top Commitment by an Organisation category at the inaugural Golden Foot Awards. The same year, the City Council approved funding the project $20,000 to create signs and develop a guidebook. After the earthquakes, the money was reallocated and never given to Merck. A council spokeswoman says the project isn't budgeted for, but is recognised as a potential project for funding. Colin Merck says he could have tried other sources for funding. He says it was a no-brainer, as it's something that will add value to the community at almost no cost, but provide another asset. Mr Merck says everyone's talking about building an eco-city, and this is one way of doing that. The walk will boost businesses, cafes and accommodation providers en route. The walkway includes the city's natural assets, Riccarton Bush, Travis Wetland and the Port Hills.
Christchurch has been plastered with street art over the past few months. The museum has even been housing some of the most expensive pieces of art in the world. But as the Rise Festival comes to an end, the street art isn't going anywhere.
Thousands have poured through Christchurch Museum over the summer, all here to witness street art take over. The Oi You Festival is a new take on graffiti. After a successful season, the festival is wrapping up, but it's not going far, moving just metres down the road.
We're redeveloping a big building that's at the YMCA, and we're turning it into what we believe is the world's first purpose-built street art centre.
The Climbing Walls days are numbered. It's going to be turned into something more special.
But also that's going to be the home to the Banksy works and the other works that are part of our collection, and we just want to build on that and turn it into something totally unique, not just in this part of the world but across the globe.
The museum says the public's reaction has blown them away. More than 2,000 people walk through the doors every day.
We've had such a good lot of feedback from all parts of the community. It's not young people, it's not old people, it's the whole gamut. Internationals, locals, everybody seems to get a chuckle or a laugh or something thoughtful out of it, because it's not just in your face. There's some quite thoughtful, provocative political commentary. The estranged final act is pretty emotional for Christchurch people.
The painted walls are not only eye-catching, they all have a story or a hidden meaning. The festival is overflowing onto the streets of Christchurch. Dozens of walls around the city are being covered in art.
Christchurch people deserve some fun, some colour, some razzle-dazzle, and this is, I think, just the sort of thing to do that.
With Christchurch becoming a permanent home for street art, organisers say the city has the ability to become the new art capital of the world. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
A lotto ticket bought in Kaikoura may be worth $8.6 million. Last night's big Wednesday winner is yet to come forward and claim their fortune. So if you are living in Kaikoura and you bought a ticket and you haven't checked it, the winning numbers are 3, 9, 13, 19, 30 and 33, and the coin toss was heads. The prize consists of more than $7 million in cash, along with a Lamborghini, an Audi Q7 and $50,000 on a Visa Platinum card. And there was almost $75,000 in the second division, which I would have happily settled for. It's been some years since a Kaikoura ticket won such a sum, though a Blenheim family won nearly $11 million last April. Still to come, what's holding up local insurance settlements?
Join us tonight at 6 for DW World News. Informative, lively, international news, breaking stories and global developments. DW News, weekdays at 6 p.m, right here on CTV. Avoid the cowboys when it comes to relocating. Trust A1 Movers, a family business since 1993 that guarantees a professional job every time. We carefully handle and wrap your valued items, ensuring they have a safe journey. Secure storage and insurance options also available.
A1 Movers, the careful, caring, moving company.
Hi, I'm Rob Cope-Williams.
I'm Robin Frew, celebrant for Canterbury Christian Funeral Services. I'm there to speak for people who can't speak for themselves.
Robin and I know that as celebrants, it's our role to make the day as special as it certainly can be. It's a celebration of your loved one's life, so it's important that we do everything we can to make it memorable.
You can't underestimate the value of a funeral service. Please contact Rob or myself at Canterbury Christian Funeral Services.
If you're looking for a great quality car, look no further than Wheeler Motor Company. Based in Christchurch, they are known for their exceptional service and great value over 30 years. With around 150 cars to choose from, you can rest easy that Wheeler Motor Company will find the perfect car to suit your needs. So drop in and see Nick Wheeler and the team at 171 Morehouse Ave, or jump online at wheelermotors.co.nz.
Love music, love summer? Then Ingham Lazy Sundays in the Botanic Gardens Archery Lawn is the place to be. Every Sunday from 3 p.m. through January to February, and it's all free. So make Sunday your day to soak up summer and take time to recharge with family and friends, relaxing in the beautiful Botanic Gardens. Listen to some great music and enjoy some of the many surrounding attractions. The perfect way to unwind. Ingham Lazy Sundays, putting summer into Sundays.
Take a multi-dimensional look at the unique facets of European culture, fashion, film, music, art, and everything in between. Euromax, every weekday at 8 a.m, right here on CTV.
What's holding up local insurance settlements? Retaining walls and a geotechnical report about Port Hills land are holding up many of the unsettled claims.
Ongoing disputes are causing delays for many insurance settlements in Christchurch. A report released by the Insurance Council of New Zealand captured the state of settlements in Canterbury. For residents living on land where there's a risk of flooding in the next 50 years, insurance covers property repairs, but not lifting the house's foundations. However, for those rebuilding their home, their foundations are being built according to the level required in the building code. So where does this leave the repaired homes in the case of a flood?
So it's a challenge. You can reduce the risk, so you can build infrastructure. That might be something that the council could look at, but there's also land compensation money that comes through to the landowner. Where does that go? Could that contribute to it? So people are aware of it, but there's multiple parties that have got to come together to find some solutions here.
There's also delays for those living in the Port Hills. In November, the Christchurch City Council announced major findings for properties in the Port Hills. A geotechnical report revealed details about mass land movement. Over 700 homes in the area were divided into 3 classes, depending on the stability of their land. For 134 residents in Class 1, their property was deemed unsafe, with the possibility of catastrophic damage and the loss of lives if a large quake was to hit. With uncertainty surrounding their properties, any insurance claims in the process of being settled were frozen.
Progress is not moving there at all, and the reason for that is that greater certainty is needed around what's going to be required if people can continue living there and what foundation work, etc. needs to be done. And we won't know that till April, May, when we're expecting new building guidelines if that's to proceed in that area.
Retaining walls are also causing delays for Port Hill residents. If their retaining wall is bordering another residential property or council land, means involving another insurance company into the mix of things.
And that's one of those issues where insurers, to some extent EQC, where retaining walls have been cash settled, and also the City Council have got to come together and work things through.
The Insurance Council of New Zealand are looking at a busy year, hoping to maintain momentum settling claims. 2014
is going to be bigger. We're looking at about 7,000 properties to be rebuilt over that time. So that's great news. A number of consents are going through the council, are mounting up. So the pipeline's building up, and we've got about 86% of properties now either totally settled in terms of total repair or rebuild, or they're in that pipeline moving through from either design phase to build phase or consenting.
However, leading into the new year, delays and uncertainty still surround insurance settlements for many residents in Christchurch. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
A local performer has won a major global dance competition. At just 10 years old, Shalise Wadley is the first person in New Zealand to win the event.
Second in the Junior Dance of the Year for 2014 is Finn Ellison from Auckland City Girls Dance. The Dance of the Year for Junior is Shalise Wadley. Congratulations. A New Zealander has won Dance of the Year. Well done.
It's the world's largest competition. Hundreds of dancers from all around the globe vying for the top prize. This year, a little girl from Christchurch surprised everyone by taking out first place.
I was really proud of myself. I was happy with how I did it.
11-year-old Shalise Wadley met success at an early age. Since she started dancing 7 years ago, she's been competing all over the world.
Such a good investment. It's what she wants to do, and travelling just gives them that extra, opens them to so much more. There's so much more out there than what's available here.
Her entire family were watching proudly in the audience as Shalise was crowned Junior Dancer of the Year. But there was one person missing. Shalise's dance teacher couldn't miss her compete, spending top dollar to book a flight the day before the competition started.
I had to leave a day early, so we weren't even actually going to go because we went to America 6 months prior and our girls dance there.
I know you couldn't be there when Shalise won her big award. Yes. So I've pulled a few strings and I've got a wee surprise for you. I've managed to get a video of her dancing and being presented her award on stage for you.
My goodness.
Yeah.
To the junior dance of the year. A New Zealander has won Dancer of the Year.
Winning Dancer of the Year is Shalise's dream come true. She now has her sights set on building on her success and becoming a professional dancer. With her teacher Miss Levings by her side all the way. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Hundreds of women paid to wine and dine with the Crusaders. One woman had even travelled halfway across the world to catch a glimpse of the players.
Valentine's Day has come early. Hundreds of women dressed to the nines with champagne in hand. A chance to meet some of their favourite rugby players. Why did you chose to have lunch with the Crusaders?
This is our 4th year coming. It's just a really good fun afternoon out. Good food, good wine, good company, really. Yeah.
Good eye candy?
Well, there's that, but you don't want to admit that, do you?
But the lunch wasn't just a quick trip down the road for everyone. Janet Jones has come all the way from England to meet the players.
And I made sure that this time I came, I coincided my trip with the Ladies Crusader lunch.
She's from a small town, Milton Keynes, where they've only just started up their first rugby team. But she says the local players are nothing compared to the fanfare of the Crusaders.
We've got such a great following. It's wonderful, really. I've not known anything like it. It's wonderful. Really good.
A lucky spot at the table, sitting in between Jerry Collins and Sam Whitelock.
Yeah, she's been into me straight away, so she's not afraid to get her opinion across, which is great.
But the captain of the team was the most popular, posing for endless photos and causing a bit of a stir amongst the other tables.
Obviously Richie would have been nice at our table, but I think any of them, they're all really, really lovely guys.
I think everyone wants Richie on their table, so it's a bit hard on the coaches when the other tables get the coaches. I think they're a bit gutted.
Even those at his table had to share him with the rest of the room.
But I don't actually think we're going to get to talk to him all that much because he's quite popular.
But the players hadn't forgotten what they were there for.
I'm going to roam around and I think Richie's staying put. As you can see, he's got 4 lamb racks. He's pretty hungry, so yeah. Hey, are you going to share? Are you going to share some of that? Yeah, he's a pig.
A seat at the same table as the rugby players has set each woman back $100. From the smiles on the faces of everyone in the room, it was money well spent. Emma Cropper, CTV News.
Can't wait to see who Emma had her picture taken with. The business, traffic and weather update coming up.
Europe in concert. A new, fantastic international artist performing every week. Saturday evening at 7 p.m, right here on CTV.
Just 20 minutes drive from Christchurch and nestled in the tranquil surroundings of Littleton Harbour is Canterbury's best kept treasure, Living Springs. The perfect setting for large or small conference groups, team building and development, weddings and special events. With accommodation and catering options available, our facilities and recreational activities are ideal for any occasion. Enjoy the breathtaking scenery and leave feeling revitalised.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Are you looking for more from your local channel? CTV are online. Our latest listings, on-demand shows, program information, all on the CTV website. We'll see you there.
Love music, love summer, then Ingham Lazy Sundays in the beautiful Botanic Gardens Archery Lawn is the place to be. Every Sunday from 3 p.m. through January to February, and it's all free. Ingham Lazy Sundays, putting summer into Sundays.
Hey, what's up with you? Oh, I've got birthdays coming up, I've got bills coming out of my ears. I just don't have the money. Well, why don't you just go to the pawn shop?
Yes, the pawn shop has a massive selection of rings, watches, car audio, sports gear, heaps of DVDs, digital cameras, computers and musical instruments. They have just about everything.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Everything's as good as gold at the pawn shop. 77 Ferry Road and 396 Blenheim Road.
In Focus, captivating, informative, in-depth documentaries. Be informed and learn something new. In Focus, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Here's Warren Head with the business update. I'm Warren Head from headliner.co.nz. The economic good news continues. This week the Westpac economists came out and they said this boom we've got now is not cyclical, it's structural. What do they mean? Cyclical means it'll go up and down and we won't see it again. They're saying it's structural. All those gains made on the milk front and in terms of the economy overall are going to stay around. So the good news out of that is they're forecasting an even stronger growth rate for New Zealand next year of 4%. 4%'s really good territory to be in. But just to put that in comparison with someone else, today I read that the Bank of England had come out and said England is looking at a 3% growth rate this coming year. Forget the floods, the bombs are picking up, and we need to keep up. So the message there is don't get scared by these big growth rates you're hearing about. On the retail front, a lot of news coming through about supermarkets. I won't get into this in any detail, just to make a couple of quick observations by way of information. Goodman Fielder came out, and the thing that struck me about their result was they said they were having trouble recovering their situation in respect of costs related to milk. The record price of farmgate milk had gone up, but they weren't able to get that back because everything out there is so sharp, and competitiveness is really part of the game. Now that is the background too to the news you've been hearing about one of the big groups suggesting that some New Zealand retailers make a little top up for some of the costs they incurred last year, that's the supermarket cost last year, in respect to keeping their place on the shelves. Now, we're going to be watching that with some interest on a national front, but it really goes to show how competitive things are out there between the two big chains. The Countdown supermarket is owned by Progressive, which in turn is owned by Woolworths, which in turn is probably owned by somebody else, but in Australia. And the other crowd are the four, the big companies include Foodstuffs, which has the other brands, New World, etc. So things are starting to differentiate a little bit into Aussie, Kiwi here, a little bit uncomfortable about all of that. But back to the rebuild. On the rebuild front, the good stuff coming out this week related to Opus International and what they were doing. This is a big firm of engineering consultants. They have offices here in town. They have got several big projects underway. They're doing the Avon River precinct. They've been appointed to the consortium that is going to be building the Justice and Emergency Services precinct, and that'll be work that continues right through until about mid-2017. And they've secured work on the first stage of the cathedral, the Catholic Cathedral project, and some work at Port Littleton. So Opus is doing very well in the city, and they are a New Zealand company. The other thing in terms of property is that the people on the outskirts of town, Waterloo Business Park, are picking up the pace. Who are they? Well, Waterloo Business Park is based out on the edge of the city, near the Hornby, past Hornby, keeping on going out in that direction, and you'll get to it coming up on the right-hand side. Eventually, they've picked up 4 major Christchurch companies to go into that business park in Islington. That's what I was looking for, Islington. Transdiesel will be moving there.
Irvine Flooring, Midland Brick and Santa Rosa is going in there as well, moving from their old factory in Burnham. This area is owned by a couple of guys out of Dunedin, so good luck to them. And finally, on the property front, let me just say too that a big transaction in town occurred in Papanui this week, where DNZ Property Fund sold the building that is leased to the Crown, Ministry of Social Welfare, close to Northlands in Winston Avenue. That property, which you're familiar with there, the big white building, went for $6.7 million. I'm Warren Head for headliner.co.nz.
Tomorrow may be Valentine's Day, but it's also a big day for cricket lovers. February the 14th marks 1 year until the opening game of the Cricket World Cup between New Zealand and Sri Lanka at Hagley Oval. The tickets for all matches will be on sale from 2 in the afternoon. To commence the countdown to the first match, an event being held at the Restart Mall will give Cantabrians a taste of what the ICC Cricket World Cup will offer. The day will include cricket activities, identities and a multicultural performance. Fans will also be able to have their pictures taken with the Cricket World Cup trophy. If you're driving around the central city, CTV's new traffic update will assist you navigating the repairs taking place.
Hello travellers, to help you plan your journey around the central city, here's an update on what's happening with the roads. The south of the city remains busy with lane reductions on St Asaph Street, between Fitzgerald Ave and Madras Street, Colombo Street and Montreal Street. We recommend Morehouse Avenue as an eastbound route in peak times. Outside the central city, the coast-to-coast competitors have been given special permission to use the Christchurch Southern Motorway during their final cycle leg between 1 p.m. and midnight this Saturday. Keep an eye out for those competing and don't forget to share the road safely. Keep watching CTV News first at 5 for more updates on what's happening with the central city roads. And in the meantime, visit the Transport for Christchurch website.
Well, after last night's spectacular downpour, let's find out what we've got in store for us tomorrow with your regional weather.
Kia ora and good evening, Canterbury. A cool southwesterly airflow blows over the South Island today and will remain tomorrow as well. Taking a look now at the weather for your area. Kaikoura, any early showers clearing after 10 overnight and sunny periods increasing during the afternoon with cool southwesterly winds and a high of 18 degrees. Hanmer Springs becoming fine and sunny after 10 overnight with a high of 21 tomorrow and southwesterlies decreasing. Rangiora and Kaiapoi sit on 10 overnight with a chance of showers around breakfast time, but sunshine increasing during the afternoon with a high of 18 and weather becoming fine. Christchurch, a chance of early morning spits after 10 overnight, but dry during the day with sunny periods developing later on and a daytime high of 18 degrees. Ashburton also sits on 10 overnight. They're mostly fine with sunny periods and some cloud. Your high will reach 18 with moderate southwesterlies. And Timaru, any early showers clearing after 10 overnight and sunny periods increasing during the afternoon with cool southwesterly winds and a high of 18 degrees. In other areas now, Arthur's Pass and Greymouth on 7 and 8 degrees overnight, everyone else sitting on 10 degrees. All areas hitting a high of 18 tomorrow. Most areas just having thick cloud throughout the day, Akaroa and Leaston having some showers in the morning. Looking ahead for Canterbury, fine and mild on Saturday and Sunday with sunny periods and some high cloud and breezy northeasterly winds. That's it from me. Have a great night. I'll have another update for you tomorrow.
And that's CTV News for Thursday. I'm Grant Mangan. Good night.
supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.